Welcome, John. Thanks for joining the meeting today. We're here to discuss organizational structure, finding the right fit.
Thank you, Lucy. This is an important topic, and I'm looking forward to hearing your insights.
To start, do you think our current structure supports collaboration effectively across different departments?
Not entirely. There are a lot of bottlenecks due to siloed teams. This impacts productivity.
I agree. Have you noticed any specific challenges with communication between teams?
Yes, sometimes teams working on the same projects aren't aware of each other's progress. This leads to delays.
That's definitely an issue. What do you think about the idea of a matrix structure to improve cross-team communication?
A matrix structure could solve some problems, but it might create confusion with dual reporting.
True. It would require employees to handle multiple supervisors, which could lead to conflict or misunderstandings.
Exactly. It's a tricky balance. How do you feel about adopting a more divisional structure for specialized teams?
A divisional structure could certainly help. It would focus on product lines or regional markets and reduce interdepartmental issues.
It could help streamline operations, but I wonder if it might create redundancy in functions like HR, finance, or IT.
That's a valid concern. Do you think we could combine the two? A hybrid structure might balance the benefits of both.
A hybrid model could work, but we would need to make sure roles are well defined to avoid confusion.
Agreed. Clear communication is critical, especially when implementing something as complex as a hybrid model.
Absolutely. We could implement cross-functional teams that work together on specific goals, regardless of structure.
That's an interesting idea. Would it also help increase accountability within the teams?
Yes, because teams would have a clearer sense of ownership over their projects, leading to better results.
I think adding more accountability could also improve morale. When employees feel responsible, they tend to perform better.
Exactly. It's important that the structure aligns with our goals. Have you thought about the leadership requirements for this?
Leadership is key. Managers must be trained to navigate these changes, especially with a hybrid or matrix model.
It might also help to identify a few key leaders to oversee the transition and provide guidance.
That's a good point. Do you think this kind of shift would affect our decision-making process?
It definitely could. We need to streamline decision-making so that it doesn't become overly complex.
Absolutely. Maybe we should establish a set of clear guidelines for decision-making and accountability.
I think that would be beneficial. It would help ensure consistency in how decisions are made across the company.
One other thing to consider is the technology tools we use. Should we look at adopting new platforms?
Technology plays a huge role in supporting organizational structure. Shared tools for communication and project management are essential.
Yes, using collaborative platforms like Slack or Microsoft Teams could bridge communication gaps between teams.
And for project management, something like Trello or Asana could help track progress and keep everyone updated.
Right. We'd also need to ensure that all employees are properly trained in using these tools effectively.
Training will be critical. If people aren't comfortable with the tools, they won't use them properly, and the system won't work.
That's something we'll need to address from the beginning of the transition. What about team size? Do you think smaller teams would be more effective?
Smaller teams often allow for better communication and quicker decision-making, but they might not have all the necessary skills.
I see what you mean. Do you think we could have a mix of smaller specialized teams with a larger central unit for support?
That could work. The smaller teams could handle daily operations, while the central unit could provide specialized support as needed.
That sounds like a good balance. What would you say are the potential challenges of such a model?
The biggest challenge would be maintaining alignment between the smaller teams and the central unit. They need to share common goals.
I agree. Perhaps having regular check-ins between teams and the central unit could keep everyone on the same page.
That's a great idea. Regular updates would ensure that nothing gets lost in communication.
It would also help to create a feedback loop. so teams can share what's working and what's not.
Exactly. Feedback is essential to improving processes. Without it, we wouldn't know where the gaps are.
That's true. How do you feel about the cultural shift that might come with changing our structure?
Changing the structure could be a huge cultural shift, especially if we introduce new leadership or reporting lines.
Yes, the employees might feel uncertain about their new roles or responsibilities. How can we address that?
I think transparency is key. We need to communicate the reasons behind the change and how it benefits everyone.
Clear communication will reduce anxiety and help employees understand the bigger picture. We could hold town hall meetings to discuss it.
Town halls would be a great way to engage employees and make them feel part of the process.
Exactly. That way, employees can voice concerns and get answers directly from the leadership team.
And it will help us get buy-in, which is essential for the success of any organizational change.
I agree. So, do you think we're ready to start planning the next steps for this change?
I think we're getting close. We'll need to involve key stakeholders and conduct a thorough analysis of options.
Picking up where we left off, John, who do you think should be involved in this planning process?
I'd suggest involving department heads, key team leaders, and HR to get a holistic perspective on needs.
That makes sense. Should we also include representatives from different levels to understand broader employee concerns?
Definitely. Including input from various levels ensures the structure works for everyone, not just leadership.
Right. A top-down approach alone won't address the real challenges employees face on the ground.
Exactly. What do you think about conducting a survey to gather employee feedback on the current structure?
That's a great idea. It could help us identify pain points and areas that need improvement.
Plus, it would show employees that their opinions matter, which might ease concerns about upcoming changes.
Absolutely. Transparency and engagement are critical to gaining their trust. What should the survey focus on?
Questions about communication, decision-making processes, and resource allocation would provide valuable insights.
Agreed. We should also ask about their preferred ways of working and collaborating across departments.
Yes, understanding work preferences could guide how we design the new structure. How soon should we roll it out?
I think we need to set realistic timelines. Should we break it into phases to ensure a smooth transition?
Phased implementation sounds practical. It would allow us to adjust based on feedback and address issues early.
Exactly. Perhaps we start with one department or division as a pilot before expanding to the entire company.
A pilot project would help us refine the process and learn from initial implementation challenges.
What about setting specific success metrics for the pilot? How will we know if it's working?
Metrics like improved communication efficiency, faster decision-making, and employee satisfaction would be good indicators.
Great. We could also measure productivity and collaboration levels to see if the structure is effective.
Agreed. Should we appoint a dedicated team to oversee the pilot and track these metrics?
Yes, a task force with cross-departmental representation could ensure comprehensive oversight.
That's a smart move. They could also act as a liaison between leadership and employees during the pilot phase.
Exactly. Their role would be to monitor progress and provide regular updates to stakeholders.
And they could organize feedback sessions to address employee concerns as the pilot progresses.
Feedback sessions would help us make adjustments in real time. Do you think we'll face resistance to change?
It's likely. People are often hesitant to adapt, especially if they're comfortable with the current system.
True. Offering training and clear communication about the benefits might help reduce resistance.
Agreed. We should also highlight success stories from the pilot phase to build confidence in the new structure.
That's a good strategy. Positive examples could encourage others to embrace the changes.
Should we also provide incentives for early adopters to promote the new structure?
Incentives like recognition or small rewards could motivate employees to support the transition.
I like that idea. It could create a ripple effect and encourage others to participate actively.
Exactly. A little encouragement goes a long way. How do you feel about creating training programs for managers?
Training is essential. Managers need to understand their roles in the new structure and how to lead effectively.
Agreed. Should we focus on skills like conflict resolution, communication, and change management?
Yes, and we could also include workshops on decision making and team building to strengthen leadership capabilities.
That would be helpful. Strong leadership will set the tone for a successful transition.
Absolutely. Do you think we should involve external consultants for guidance on best practices?
That's worth considering. Experts could provide insights and help us avoid common pitfalls.
They could also assist in creating detailed implementation plans tailored to our company's needs.
Agreed. Their expertise would complement our internal knowledge and ensure a comprehensive approach.
We should discuss this with the leadership team and get their input on involving consultants.
Yes, and we should also prepare a cost benefit analysis to justify the expense.
That's a smart move. It's important to show how this investment will contribute to long-term growth.
Definitely. I think we're making good progress in defining the next steps. Anything else you'd like to add?
Not at this moment. Let's summarize our points so far and prepare to present them to the leadership team.
To continue, let's refine our approach for presenting this plan to the leadership team. How should we structure it?
I'd recommend starting with the rationale behind the need for organizational restructuring. It sets the stage.
Agreed. We should highlight inefficiencies in the current structure and how the proposed changes address them.
Exactly. Then we can outline the steps for implementation, emphasizing the phased approach and pilot program.
That makes sense. Including timelines and metrics will give them a clear picture of what to expect.
We should also present the survey findings to demonstrate that the plan is employee-informed.
Absolutely. Employee input strengthens our case by showing alignment with their needs and expectations.
What about potential challenges? Should we address them during the presentation or in a follow-up?
It's better to address them up front. Transparency about challenges shows we're prepared and realistic.
Good point. We can also outline mitigation strategies to demonstrate our proactive approach.
Yes, that would help build confidence in the plan. Should we also mention the benefits of external consultants?
Definitely. Positioning them as value-added partners can help justify their involvement.
Agreed. How should we handle questions or pushback from leadership during the presentation?
Staying calm and providing evidence-based answers will be key. Should we prepare an FAQ document in advance?
That's a great idea. Anticipating their concerns and having ready responses will show thorough preparation.
It also demonstrates that we've considered multiple perspectives and aren't rushing decisions.
Exactly. What about visuals? Should we include charts or diagrams to make the presentation more engaging?
Yes, visual aids like org charts, timelines, and survey summaries can make complex ideas easier to grasp.
Good idea. We can use visuals to compare the current structure with the proposed one.
That would clearly show the improvements and how the new structure aligns with company goals.
Do you think we should include case studies from other organizations as supporting evidence?
Absolutely. Successful examples from similar companies could provide valuable insights and build credibility.
I agree. Let's also focus on the long-term benefits, like increased efficiency and employee satisfaction.
Yes, highlighting measurable outcomes will resonate with leadership. Should we involve other team members in the presentation?
I think so. Involving others who contributed to the plan could provide additional perspectives.
Agreed. Their participation could also showcase the collaborative effort behind the proposal.
Exactly. It might also help address technical or department-specific questions more effectively.
Do you think we should allocate time for a Q&A session at the end?
Definitely. An open forum would allow leadership to voice concerns and provide feedback.
It would also help us gauge their support for the plan. Should we follow up afterward with detailed notes?
Yes, A summary document with key points and action items would keep everyone aligned.
That's a good idea. How soon should we aim to present this plan to leadership?
I'd say within 2 weeks. That gives us time to finalize details and prepare thoroughly.
Agreed. Should we schedule a rehearsal to ensure the presentation flows smoothly?
That's a must. Practicing will help us refine our delivery and anticipate potential issues.
Let's set a timeline for each preparation step, starting with gathering visuals and refining key messages.
Sounds good. We should also assign roles for different parts of the presentation.
Yes, assigning roles ensures everyone knows their part and avoids confusion during the presentation.
Exactly. Let's finalize our preparation schedule and start working on the presentation materials.
Good plan. We're moving forward steadily. Should we revisit anything we've discussed so far?
I think we've covered everything comprehensively. Let's proceed to the next steps. Anything you'd like to add?
Nothing more for now. Let's get started on the visuals and presentation outline.
Picking up from where we left off, John, do you think we should include a detailed cost analysis?
Yes, a cost analysis will demonstrate the financial feasibility of the restructuring plan to leadership.
Agreed. Should we also highlight potential cost savings from increased efficiency and streamlined processes?
Absolutely. It's essential to show both the short-term investment and the long-term financial benefits.
Right. Should we categorize costs, such as training, consultant fees, and new technology implementation?
Yes, breaking down expenses will help leadership understand where resources are being allocated.
That's a good approach. How do you think we should present the projected ROI for this initiative?
Graphs or charts comparing current inefficiencies with expected improvements would be impactful.
Agreed. Visualizing ROI will make the benefits more tangible. What about risks? Should we address them in detail?
Definitely. Leadership will want to see that we've identified potential risks and planned mitigation strategies.
Should we divide risks into categories like financial, operational, and employee-related challenges?
That's a solid idea. It shows a comprehensive understanding of the complexities involved in restructuring.
Exactly. We could also provide examples of how similar risks were managed successfully in other organizations.
Yes, using real-world examples can reassure leadership and demonstrate the practicality of our approach.
Speaking of examples, do you think we should invite a guest speaker, like an industry expert, for the presentation?
That could add credibility, especially if the expert has firsthand experience with successful restructuring projects.
Good point. It might also provide leadership with additional confidence in the proposed changes.
Should we allocate time for the expert to address specific questions from the leadership team?
Yes, that would be valuable. Their insights could complement our plan and address concerns effectively.
Do you think we've gathered enough data to support the key recommendations in our proposal?
I believe so, but we could cross-check our findings to ensure everything is accurate and comprehensive.
Agreed. Accuracy is crucial. Should we also prepare a backup plan in case the initial approach faces setbacks?
Absolutely. A contingency plan would show leadership that we're prepared for unexpected challenges.
What should the backup plan focus on? Adjusting timelines, reallocating resources, or modifying the implementation process?
All of those, I think. Flexibility will be key to overcoming any obstacles we encounter.
Agreed. Do you think it's worth discussing the potential for hybrid or remote work as part of the restructuring?
Definitely. Many companies are adapting to hybrid models, and we should consider how it fits our structure.
Should we include data on productivity and employee satisfaction in hybrid work environments?
Yes, that would provide a balanced perspective and help us make informed decisions.
Agreed. Should we consult IT and facilities management about the technical and logistical requirements for hybrid work?
That's a must. Their input will be critical for ensuring a seamless transition.
Should we schedule a separate meeting with them to discuss potential challenges and solutions?
Yes, a focused discussion would allow us to address their concerns thoroughly.
Let's add that to our action plan. Anything else we should prioritize before the leadership presentation?
I think we've covered most points. We just need to finalize our materials and rehearse thoroughly.
Agreed. Should we also prepare a follow-up survey to measure the success of the new structure post-implementation?
That's a great idea. Continuous feedback will help us refine the structure and address emerging issues.
Absolutely. Let's include that in our long-term strategy. Do you feel we're ready for the presentation?
I think we're close. We just need to polish a few details and confirm everyone's roles.
Agreed. This plan is shaping up well. Any final adjustments you'd like to suggest?
Nothing major. Let's focus on delivering a clear, confident, and compelling presentation.
Agreed. Let's finalize our preparation schedule and take the next steps with confidence.
Now, let's take a look at the meanings of some words mentioned in the conversation.
Benchmarking. Comparing performance metrics to industry standards or competitors.
Benchmarking helped the company identify areas for improvement.
Scalability. The capacity to handle growth or increased demand.
The software's scalability ensures it can support more users in the future.
Optimization. Making the best or most effective use of resources or processes.
The team focused on optimization to reduce production costs.
Outsourcing. The practice of hiring external firms to perform tasks or services.
The company is outsourcing customer service to reduce operational costs.
Innovation. The introduction of new ideas, methods, or products.
The company's innovation in renewable energy set it apart from competitors.
Turnaround. A complete change in performance or results, often positive.
The company's quick turnaround after restructuring impressed investors.
Upskilling. The process of teaching employees new skills to improve their performance.
Upskilling initiatives boosted employee confidence and productivity.
Workflow. The sequence of processes through which a task is completed.
The new software optimized the team's workflow.
Value proposition. The unique value a product or service offers to customers.
Our value proposition focuses on affordability and quality.
Cost-benefit analysis. A process of comparing the costs and benefits of a decision or project.
A thorough cost-benefit analysis supported the decision to invest in new equipment.
Thank you for watching our video.